That was the dry lake range. Can't see the solar fields, but they are extensive. See some in that direction, perhaps. It's the Mormon Mountains. They're south front at Moapa Peak. Muddies here. North Muddies, including parts of Valley of Fire ahead. North Muddies don't look traversable per se in the classic sense, but I do believe they're composed of 2 to 3 distinct ridgelines, and I think we'll just enjoy seeing what they have to offer either way. Here's the start of the North Muddy Mountains right there. That subtle rise. Coming into these hills, which get pretty choppy at times. There's a double ridge system that parallels itself in there. So just take whatever way works. Plants are already much more interesting than closer to Las Vegas there. In the Great Disturbance Zone. This is gonna be a bit wilder soon. We're still near Valley of Fire Highway there. Lots of invasive mustards in the wildlands here still. I imagine those will fade and the Phacelias and Cryptanthas and such will yield ahead. Traverse number 2 of March. Beginning, whatever it becomes, we'll see. Full traverse or a zigzag or whatever. Here's the beginning of the North Muddies. Their south end. They just start up right there, huh? There's the Muddies proper. Traverse number 3 this year, probably about a month or 2 from now, is gonna see a big change in life. All for the better, I believe. Yeah, lots of northern Nevada ahead. I'm not spending a ton of time in the Mojave this 2024, but it'll hit favorite place ahead for a bit and just get deeper into the Great Basin as the season progresses. Should be a good time. South end of the North Muddies opens up into a hillscape. The south end here. Main Muddies out in the distance. Plants here are of increasingly high quality. I'm betting I'll see something I haven't really seen before, which is pretty exciting. This stage of my career in the Mojave. Quite a beautiful scene ahead. Wondering if the canyon goes. Find out in the morning, and it's going to be scenic out there either way. Valley of Fire, world-class scenery. Crowds to attest to that fact. Venture in sometime. That's the entrance. North Muddies don't form one continuous ridge per se. So this is going to be just a nice enjoyable loop hike through the valleys, I think. The ridges that do exist and to terminate abruptly. Looks like we got some gypsum-esque habitat out there. Red rocks deep in the distance. It's a substantial section of Valley of Fire, accessible seemingly by foot only. These tracks are certainly not accessible to most vehicles, and I don't think are gonna go down in there, though I could be wrong. Nonetheless, I have this segment of the park to myself today. There's not going to be anyone down there. They are all at the Rhodes Visitor Center, paved roads, adjacent trails within the main park system. This part's quite aloof to the north. A connected patchwork within predominantly, I think, BLM land. Senegalias are greening up plant-wise. Lots of bird song today. Closer to the greater concentrations of native wild plants. Plenty of invasive species too, as we know. Pretty close to Las Vegas, and long-term agriculture, I believe, in the Overton area ahead. Logandale. Places I'm not too familiar with. We'll be hitting those places outskirts, however, to the north, and then wrapping back around through the some of the more hilly parts of this mountain range. This is all considered North Muddies. Incredible habitats with incredible taxa. Quite reminiscent of the Lake Mead. But quite a bit outside of the Lake Mead here. This habitat right here is outside of protection right now. But it's bounded by protection and fairly good looking still, as you can tell. Although the invasive mustards are ever present in this corner of Nevada. Ever present. There's some continuous ridge of the North Muddies. This is the east part. There's a parallel west part, I do believe. It's too chopped up to really be doable. Too many vertical sections. At least for me in my state with my pack weight. No pack might be a different story, but where'd the water come from? I have plant gear as well. Pulled me down a little bit. Not too badly though. Simply vertical sections, I'm not even sure it'd be doable without some ropes, and it's pretty sharp limestone up there, and you'd need a partner or two with ropes to do an actual traverse of this part. The botany's pretty bitchin' down here, gotta say. And it's only gonna get better as I get lower towards the north end and loop back around through a valley between the ridges, I think. Reached the Muddy River, the north end of the North Muddy Mountains, which terminates the range around the bend up there. I've never seen the Muddy River before. I've crossed it a million times on the interstate. It looks rather brush choked, so not sure I'm gonna see it, but I've got to try to follow it for 1.5 miles, which could be tough, especially at the end of a long, hot day. Just crossed over the North Muddies, one of its ridges, to walk another valley. But in this rather enclosed gully, special population of anemones. Anemone cylindricaceus. We've seen it before on Bunkerville Ridge. Maybe I brought you there, maybe not. And on some really restricted limestones on the Mojave Great Basin transition. This is the healthiest population I've seen. Clearly likes limestone gullies that are shaded most of all, as we could think of with a buttercup. Pleuros nearby. And lots of invasive brum competing with our special little anemone friends here. Made the point to pull some of it. Pellitories on the walls. The low valley loop was the right call. It's quite hot and thirsty out here. The main ridges have many drop-offs. Can't see any up there right now, but they're there, believe me. Both ridges of the North Muddies. Precipitous drop-offs along the ridges. Would lead to, that is, sheep's-like frustration levels, if attempted. I'm exhausted after a week, by the way. I have a lot to settle back in Colorado before coming back here, probably within a month or so, for a incredible Great Basin field season 24 ahead. Right now, I'm quite contented in this valley between the two North Muddies ridges. Those are the Mormons out there. Clouds are keeping things just cool enough for comfort. Otherwise it'd be a hot day below 2,000 feet here. Yeah, near Overton it's close to 1,500 feet. Quite low. Lower than Mesquite even. which I wasn't fully aware of, that there were such low points in Clark County. Besides the specific Mesquite and Laughlin areas, Overton is a third very low area. I've been below 2,000 feet for, I'm not going to say 24 hours, but probably close to 16, or even maybe closer to 20 hours. And yeah, I'm sunburnt. Gotta go back to winter. Wrap things up. Got a new life ahead as I wrap up Nevada work. Not forever, not by any means. Nevada work only increases in scope over time as I get closer to wrapping up the flora itself this spring 24.